Hey, this is Spike Dudley. You're listening to InYourHeadOnline.com. Stay extreme.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned Ric Flair. Do you still enjoy seeing him out there?
I never did.
Oh, you never? Well, okay. Do you still not enjoy seeing him out there? I guess.
I mean, you know, it's he's working. I see him doing his thing. You know, I see him doing the same thing he's done for a long time. I say, great for him for being so strong and healthy to be able to keep doing that. You know, but honestly, I don't enjoy a lot of the things about wrestling that a lot of other fans and wrestlers that are fans do enjoy, you know, and that's always made it difficult for me too. Or should I say challenging?
Right. A lot of people who called in tonight, they were asking about your different moves and stuff. But kind of along those lines, I always thought like it was like you and Val Venus like sold the DDT like better than anybody, or like a pile driver. Was that like hard on your neck to like kind of bounce off your head like that?
Well, I mean, it's just everything I do, you know. I mean, I try and put everything into it. I'm out there to impress, to show off. People are paying to see me. I want to make sure they get their money's worth. So if you DDT me, I'm going to eat it. If you pile drive me, I'm going to eat it. If you whack me with a metal chair, I would like that thing to fold right over my head. Like when Balls Mahoney used to crack me with that chair back in the original ECW days, I knew that nobody was watching that saying, oh, I could do that, I could do that. Hell no. People would watch, and they'd know that there's no way they would survive that. Because even though it's entertainment, it's an exhibition of your actual skills and talents, you know. It's a showcasing, and that's what it is. So I'm out there to show, even though it's entertainment, I want to show a little bit of what I got. You know, I obviously have endurance and speed and coordination and athleticism and acrobatics and toughness, you know. And there's a lot, you know, that you can deduct from watching a wrestling match, even though you never truly know exactly how somebody would fight if they were fighting to end the fight instead of to take 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of ECW, what do you think of the current ECW product?
Well, I'm not too impressed, you know. I mean, when they brought it back with the old bait and switch, I was suckered in just like everybody, you know, and I was fooled into thinking that the original ECW spirit was going to be carried on by us original ECW players. We'd recruit some new young guys to carry on the spirit. So when I learned that the idea was never to make it anything like the old ECW, because Vince didn't think anybody even remembered the old ECW, and then I realized it was just going to be a third brand that was going to be giving less attention than SmackDown and Raw, and held so much resentment from a lot of the boys and a lot of the agents that hate the original ECW, even though this is Vince's. I don't get it. I didn't get it. I still don't get it, and it's something, you know, that after a while I wasn't too crazy about being a part of. I definitely didn't want to be the endorser. I didn't want to be the poster boy for this new ECW, and I told the boss man that, you know, and it was then that I said, okay, where's the exit?
Was it even more frustrating since, like, the one-night stand shows, like, got over so well, it kind of proved that if you just kind of had the ECW in, like, the ECW arenas, places, you know, where the hardcore ECW fans were, like, it was still really over?
Well, of course, and it could have still been over in other arenas, too. First off, they made the ECW wrestlers bad guys on Raw, which was ridiculous, by creating this angle between me and John Cena, where we were going to wrestle over that Money in the Bank challenge, and then, you know, Sabu and Balls and Sandman, Dreamer, they would all come in and jump John Cena or whatever, and I would tell Vince, look, you're making people that don't know ECW that are watching Raw obviously think the ECW guys are the heels right now. You know, I mean, why are you doing that, you know, to try to build ECW? And, you know, when we brought back the original One Night Stand, it was a huge success. The one next year was a huge success. And then before we launched the new TV show, we had a SmackDown versus ECW, and I wrestled Rey Mysterio, and everybody was telling me, oh my God, Rob, you were happy again. You could see it in your face. You were enjoying being there. You were having fun. And I was, because they were saying at the time, ECW means anything goes. And so I'd have a chair, I'd have dives out to the crowd, and I was able to really express myself as an artist the way that I wanted to be seen for the first time in like over 5 years, you know. So that was very exciting. So different cycles of frustration go from being excited and hopeful to being disappointed. and ultimately void of any hope, you know. So, yeah, just like everybody, I was disappointed to see it go downhill. And since they didn't want to revive or even keep that spirit going, they were never even trying to keep this the alternative product that it was. The old ECW was cool to watch even if you weren't a wrestling fan. You couldn't turn the channel because you were seeing crazy stuff happening, you know? The way Jay Moore put it, he said ECW. He goes, isn't that where there was like barbed wire all over? You got a cockfight in one corner over here, in the other corner you got a snuff film being made. He's right though. I mean, it was crazy. It was hard to turn the channel away and
yeah, I mean, I remember
they wanted to go with it.
Yeah, I remember the very first time I saw it on TV. It was used to show it here on the Spanish channel, and as soon as I watch it every week.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember the first time, and Sabu was always telling me about it because I knew he was wrestling for this group up in Philly. I was down in Florida at the time, and starting my deal with All Japan, and I saw it one time on the Sunshine Network, flipped through the channels, and I seen Sabu. You know, and he's jumping from a chair in the middle of the ring up to the top rope in the middle, then out to like the third row in the crowd, and all the crowd is standing up and dancing together, you know, like they're in a rock and roll show or something. It was crazy. I'd never seen anything like it. And what Paul Heyman did was he brought a new alternative product and said, this is what wrestling could be. Because right now it's all whatever Vince is spoon feeding you. He says, this is what wrestling is because I say it is.
Right. Do you actually think part of the reason why they brought it back was to kind of take away the legacy and kind of take away the ECW chants?
Yes, I do. I think that because ECW stood for anti-WWE, anti-traditionalism, I think that it was a good stroke to the man's ego to bring it in and try to destroy that image, the whole time denying that anybody remembered the old ECW. I mean, this guy speaks from a huge self-centered perspective where when you ask him, Vince, why do you think they chant ECW when we do things out there if they don't remember it? And his honest response is, because I spent the last 5 years training them to chant ECW when they see something extreme. I mean, that's the guy you're talking to. That's his perspective. That's what he really thinks. You know, didn't we bring it back because the DVD sales were like through the roof? They were so good. Well, yes, I advertised them on my TV. People bought them. That's the way that he thinks, you know. Who's to tell him he's wrong, you know, for having a global brand, you know, but it sure isn't something that I think's cool.
Mm-hmm. We got Jason here on the line.
Yeah.
What up, Jason?
Well, I want to say something to Rob Van Dam, and I also have two questions for him, if that's cool, because I don't want to take up too much time, but this is a pretty big deal for me, so.
I get to him, man.
Okay, first off, when I didn't have any friends, when I was going through some hard times, I always had ECW. So, you know, long live the original ECW. I can't say enough about how great the original ECW was.
Right on. I'm with you.
So, just before I ask any questions, thank you so much for everything.
I appreciate that.
My first question is, would you ever wrestle Jerry Lynn one last time? Because you guys had great matches.
I would hope that could come to pass sometime down the road, you know. I wouldn't do it just to have the match. Like, for instance, if it was offered for us to do it next week, it wouldn't be something, you know, that would be wise to do. But I hope that the right circumstances and events and direction of our paths go in such a way that they do cross in the future. You know, Jerry has been my most competitive opponent that has brought out the most spirit of competition and best exhibition and showcasing of everything that I think a wrestling match should be, you know, as far as on my resume, you know, so definitely appreciate you bringing up the new effing show.
Was there talks sorry, Jason, was there talks of doing that match at the second One Night Stand? There was like a rumor online. I don't know if it was true or not.
I don't believe so, because, I mean, this one, you know, was for the World Championship. It had a long time coming in.
One.
Money in the Bank. It had a long build-up going towards it. You know, I'm sure originally it was probably laid out on the table as a match that could happen, but obviously the whole show became about ECW taking over.